Hey yo, what's up with y'all? It's Top Media TV coming back at y'all with another video. So, shout out to Skip Townsend for getting an interview out with Manook. For those of y'all that don't know Manook, Manook is actually this dude right here who was part of Tupac's squad, IVC, CRIPS, Thug Life, you know, who Tupac was hanging with, who was running with before, you know, he was running with the PIRUs on death row, who's gonna actually explain, you know, Tupac's hanging around with these guys, Big Psych, rest in peace, and all the other guys, Mentor, and all the other brothers from the IVC CRIPS area out of Ingledwood. You know, this is another picture of Manook in the middle, between Serge on the left, and y'all see Tupac on the right, and also Big Psych on the right side of Tupac. So, you know, this is when Tupac was hanging with the IVCs, Thug Life. So this video is kind of explaining, you know, if Tupac really did turn MOB, or, you know, if it was just a thing where he was running with whoever he was running with at the time, not necessarily picking a side or, you know, preferring the Crips over the PIRUs or vice versa.
No, tell me where Manook and Psych.
Where they at? Yeah, you know we out the village.
Yeah, the Imperial Village, right?
Yeah.
Right, in Inglewood, them ain't PIRUs.
No, all Crips, all Crips.
Right, so listen, so here's the thing, man. Tell me about Tupac, man, being with you guys. Was he hanging out on the east side of Compton, or was he hanging on the west side? Because every time I seen, well, I only seen him a couple times, but he was over there with y'all.
Well, let me clarify for y'all.
Right.
What people don't understand is that Pac only hung with Death Row for 11 months of his life.
Right.
You know, before he got out of jail, that period of time was only 11 months.
Okay.
So everything that became with Death Row, put it in 11 months.
Okay.
Because that's all that was. Even though it gets more glorifiable, but it was really only 11 months. It's just that how hard he worked and how much he accomplished to show you what a person can do in 11 months. He was one of them.
Right. So, and Psych, how did he come around, man? How did Tupac come around to the Inglewood Village, man?
Well, Pac and Serge, who Serge is from Inglewood,
right,
were related.
Oh, okay.
So that's how he got to know us.
Okay.
So what happened was, when he came out here to interview for Poetic Justice, he hung out with Serge. Serge brought him to the hood. So happy it was my birthday, we had a little get together. And he just liked the environment. So when he came back to shoot the movie, quite naturally he gonna say, "Oh, Serge, bring your people up here." And just roll from one thing to another. Yeah. And just so happened, Psych happened to be in music. So it just kind of worked.
There was also another dude, man, who passed away early on, man. He was probably the most prolific, really. Before there was a Nipsey and before Tupac came, named Mental, man.
Yeah.
How did Mental and Tupac, did they ever connect? Did they ever do music or, you know, because when I hear Pac, I do music or, you know, because when I hear Pac, I hear Mental, because I do Mental.
True. Okay.
So tell us about that, man.
Mental, again, was from my hood, Inglewood Village.
Right.
And what ended up happening was, when Pac seen Mental, he thought he was one of the greatest rappers of all time. But Mental was more, I would say, gang mentality.
No, Mental was just straight up Crip, man. A crazy ass, imperial ass Crip.
More gang mentality than career rhyme.
Right.
So, when Pac stepped to Mental to like come to the studio and maybe work with me, Mental was like, "Oh no, you know that nigga messing with one of them other niggas from the other side," which I think was at the time was nigga that got knocked out by the nigga off the box.
Devo.
Okay, now.
No, you talking about Red, DJ?
Yeah, but you know he was messing with the Watergates.
Okay, yeah.
And Mental wouldn't touch it.
Right.
So once him and Pop did some work with it, that kind of threw Mental off of Pop completely.
Right.
Because you know how he was with the gang.
You know, for those of y'all that don't know, Mental from IVC, this is a picture right here, and he was a serious ass dude, serious gangbanger, and Tupac had said this dude was the hardest dude on the mic that he had listened to, and also Big Y from the Crenshaw Mafias, who was also another rapper around death row at the time, knew and grew up with this dude and kind of vouched for him and said this dude was the hardest rapper he had ever heard, and was actually the dude that taught him how to rap. and also gave Corrupt his name.
Mental, man, me and Dude go way back. Like, he part of really my whole rap foundation. That was my homeboy, like my best friend in junior high, and he actually the dude that taught me how to rap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I played the back, I would beatbox, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, because them dudes was hard back then.
Right.
But Marcel was the hardest. He was the smallest, but he was the hardest dude. Like, he was probably one of the hardest rappers up out of Inglewood. Best friend in junior high, and everybody know that I went to junior high with, you know, Red Rum and, you know, all of them, even Corrupt them, you know, back in the day from, you know, dudes used to rap at Hawthorne.
So that was Big Y on the previous interview that I had uploaded, you know, with Skip Townsend. Major shout out and credit to Skip Townsend. But so y'all hear Big Y giving credit to this dude Mental, who got killed in '93 by a rival Crip gang called the Watergate Crips. Give credit to him as the one who had taught him how to rap, you know. And also, if y'all listen to the interview, y'all gonna hear this dude was actually the dude that gave Corrupt his name.
Okay, yeah.
And Mental wouldn't touch it.
Right.
So once him and Pac did some work with it, that kind of threw Mental off of Pac completely.
Right.
Because you know how he was with the gangbanging stuff.
Yeah.
But Pac admired him so much that once Mental died, he
Yeah.
kind of honored him by
Putting
really,
him in the music.
Well, really kind of taking his style.
Yeah.
To really be truthful with you. You know, everything about Pac at that time was Mental. If you see Pac before Mental and you see Pac after Mental, you'll know that Pac's whole look was Mental. He just made it fashionable.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also Kato, man. He put Kato in the song too, man.
Well, how can you not? He was a real nigga.
Right. Right.
You cannot, I mean...
But the whole thing is, if you listen to Tupac's song when he mentioned Kato and Mental, they weren't from PIRU. Where was Kato and Mental from?
Both of them was from Inglewood Village. But they was one of the realest niggas that he had met at that time.
Yes, indeed. So that's for people who believe that Pac was, you know, hanging out on the east side, hanging out the Ludus Park with the mob and all that. Now, even though I know Cynthia Nunn told me he came by a couple times, you know, Suge brought him, but I know that he was out of Inglewood when he was with y'all.
Understand this. When Pac came with us, he was a youngster. Pac was like 19. We had already went through everything. We was probably in our early 20s, 23, 24. So we was more into probably having money at the time than gangbanging. So a lot of stuff that Pac probably wanted to do, we wouldn't let him do because we was much older than that.
Right.
You know, people ask me about Pac, and I always tell him, just picture Pac being your little homie. He was trying to earn his stripes to be who he was going to be.
You know, so let me know what y'all think, man. So that was Manook from IVC, you know, Big Sykes' homeboy, OG from that hood right there, you know, explaining Tupac taking a back seat and how they didn't allow Tupac, you know, to gangbang, you know what I mean, like he was on death row or claim IVC or claim Crip, you know what I'm saying?
We used to always tell him, man, don't do it. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Because we never pushed, even when he was running around with Crips, we didn't push that on him or try to make him claim my neighborhood or none of that. None of that. But, you know.
So that was Big Syke, rest in peace, doing an interview with Money B before he passed, you know, saying that Tupac, you know, the IVCs and Big Syke and all them didn't push Tupac to claim Crip or to push that Crippin' on him, you know, like I guess maybe how he was on death row. But let me know what y'all think, man, about the situation. Of course, a lot of people was also saying that Tupac was hanging with the Rolling 40s, which is true, you know, with Rated R, out the Rolling 40s, who's doing life or murder, you know. But make sure y'all don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Make sure y'all don't forget to drop a comment below for those that, you know, have more intel on the situation when Tupac was running with the Crips, with Thug Life in the early 90s, 93, 94, 92. Peace, y'all.